There we are. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Chandler's Cottage. How are you this evening? Are you good? Make yourselves at home, pull up a chair, grab a cuppa, and we'll just spend a little bit of time together this evening with a couple of little projects. I'm going to put it like that, a little bit of a demo evening for you. I'll just find you on my Facebook page on my phone, and hope that I can find you on here and turn my volume down, and then we should be good to go. There we are. So I hope your week's been really good so far. I cannot believe that it is the middle of May already. It's just amazing. It's gone so fast. I dare not look at what I had planned to get done by this time of the year. I probably haven't finished half the things that I had planned for January. But there is a list there that was written in the euphoric time between Christmas and New Year, so maybe soon I'll go back and have a look at it. Good evening, Denise and Donna, Louise, Yvonne, Marg. It's lovely to see you. Hello, Kieran. Rose, I can see you're here as well. Leanne, hi. So this evening, a few things to go through. I was out here working quite late, and I went in to have dinner and I left the heater on, and can you see it's like a sauna in here. I haven't blushed up like this, my goodness, for such a long time, but I can see it on the screen. It'll go soon. I've got the door open. It was way too warm in here. But yeah, so this evening we've got a couple of little things to go through. One of them, of course, is our calendar project for May, and it's halfway through May and we haven't even done it yet. So we're going to have a look at that first, and then I'm going to have a look at one of our new TO projects, and I'm going to say exclusive to Chandler's Cottage because this one's just for our customers here. Our TOs are now available to shops all around Australia and overseas, but I've got a little one here to share with you that we're just doing in-house that I mentioned last time, and that is a little cash stash purse. So we're going to look at that, but on top of that, I want to go on a little journey. You know how I do this, a little journey this evening, and I know you love it when I take myself down a rabbit hole and get myself in so much trouble, technically, and that's what we're going to do, and just see if it comes off this evening. I did phone a friend earlier for some advice, and thanks, Meg, but I think it's going to work. It is going to work. Oh, now I can feel the draft coming under the door. I might have to go and close it. Christine, that is wonderful news. I'm so glad to hear it. Good evening, Sue. Hello, Lois. Meg, there you are. Good evening. Doreen is here too. Joan, good evening. Glennis, thank you so much for joining us. Doreen Brooks is in the building. Bobby Small's in the building. Pamela, hi. Oh my goodness, look at you all. Carol's here. Liz is here. Oh, this is fantastic. Lynette's here too. Right, then we can start now. Lynette's here. And Kathy's here too. Is it chilly down your way, Kath? It's absolutely freezing. Now I don't know what to do. I might have to go shut the door soon. No Rob here this evening. He's watching from afar. He'll be around later. But yeah, so we should be good to go. Right. Rabbit hole. Oh my goodness. All right, let's have a look at the wreath first, our wreath pincushion. And then, as I mentioned when I popped in from my office yesterday, I've got not many fabrics tonight, but really lovely feature fabrics to show you. And then the one thing that we were waiting for, I'll show you this now. This is the one thing we were waiting for. Then we'll talk pincushions. Which camera shall we use? Hang on. Got it all set up to show you this. I'll just move this. And then this is what we were waiting on. Bright green zipper with silver teeth. That's what we were waiting on. Such a little thing, but when you see what I'm going to do with it tonight, you'll understand. So that's what we're waiting on. Now, while you're there, let's just go this way. Del, good evening. Thank you very much. You see my cup of tea? Let me just move that out of the way. Hi, Robbie. It's chilly down there too. Oh yeah, it was cold last night too, wasn't it, Kathy? My goodness. Sue Simpson, good evening. Jenny Miller Sweetie's in the building. Okay, this is the project for May. So here's our calendar. And this month, if you've got your calendar, it features this and also our peach Melba tart. which debuted, Peach Melba Almond Tart, yes, that debuted at last year's Creative Escape in November, which is 2 weeks away. So I've got a few new little things to debut this time round. But yeah, that's really yummy. Please take the time to make the effort to make it if you've got your calendar. Please do. Okay, now this is the actual project. And as I have confessed previously, Margaret did this for me. And I actually have a photo on my phone of Margaret passing it to me through a car window in the car park at Craft Alive. She did it for me, and we sort of changed shifts, and I went home and finished it off. But you can see what you've got here is a wreath, and I have created this wreath in many formats before, including a larger applique quilt, and then shrunk right down to this size for the pincushion. It's got braid round the edge, and what that braid is there for is to conceal a join. So when you make one, and also I should just point out straight away, we now have them available as individual kits. So if you didn't get your calendar and you would like to have a go at one, here's your kit. It's got absolutely everything in it ready to go. So I'll pull this out. But what happens is, you know how we do Suffolk puffs and cherry blossoms and all those things with pre-shaping around a circle? That's what you're going to do with this. So you can see it's all been screen printed, hand screen printed onto this. You don't need to put a backing on it. It's a lovely tight weave linen, but I'll leave that up to you. You can also pop it in a hoop if you want to, but again, that's going to be up to you. Good evening, Yvonne. Hello. So I'm going to leave that up to you to decide. Anne Kennedy's here. Hello. So that's the actual pattern. This is what goes underneath. So that's what's under there. Now the other little trick thing that is in your kit is a cork coaster. That's worth pointing out, because once you've made one, you'll be able to go through and find some nice little cork coasters and make some of your own with the same technique with anything on here that you want to put on. So what happens is that you'll do your pincushion embroidery on the top. Then you've got some instructions for creating discs of batting to pad this out. And it's not a super deep one, but it is plenty to put all your pins in. It'll work really well. It's fine. Okay, so that's how that all works. But you'll find yourself a thicker piece of cardboard, first of all, and that's what you're going to pre-shape your pincushion top and your batting over first. And then you can come through and pad your coaster at the bottom so that you can stick these two together and then actually sew around here. Glue on your braid around the edge. Now what I mean by actual pre-shaping is this, which is what we do with all of our Suffolk puffs and things. So if this is my coaster here, or my piece of cardboard, then my backing that goes on the base of the coaster, or my top stitched piece of linen, which you'll cut down once you've stitched it, of course, will be larger than the coaster or the piece of cardboard. And then with a little knotted thread, you're going to do a running stitch right round, okay, with your needle and thread. And then that gets pulled up, so you actually pull it up over the edge. So when we're doing Suffolk puffs and things like that, you know I love to use sandpaper for that purpose. But in this case, we're going to do it around a coaster, or we're going to do it around a piece of cardboard. So keep that technique in mind. And also when you get your kit, or you have a look again at your calendar, because it really is a lovely way to make these. You might want to use it just to do, say, 2 of these stuck together with a thin braid or a cord to use as really nice coasters as well. So there's lots of different things that you can use this technique for. But I really wanted to do an Australian themed one, but give it a little twist. Hi Ginny, give it a little twist. Are you right? Yeah, give it a little twist with the colour. So I didn't go for traditional Australian colours in terms of eucalypts, but I really liked, I fell in love with this particular wonderful pearl thread when we did our Waratah wine bags, not last year, the year before now. and I'm doing something new with that design at the moment that I hope to show you very soon. But this, the colours in this are beautiful, so they go through beautiful apricots and reds and pinks, kind of what we would probably uneducatedly call a little bit of a Bollywood kind of colour thing going on. Love, just lots and lots of shades in there. And so I married it up with this beautiful linen so that we get that really unusual warm colour. And that's why I popped it in May as well, because even though it's Australian, it's got that little bit of an autumn colour. I'm rambling on now, but it's sort of like, you know, sometimes with eucalypt leaves, when they get cold, they tend to go to that beautiful rusty red colour as well in some species of eucalypt. So that's what I was trying to pull off. So that comes with full instructions in here if you would like to grab one of the kits. Now, tonight's word is lemonade. I got stuck, okay? I really didn't know what to use, and then I looked at the lemon print on the wall and went, lemonade, that'll do. That'll do very nicely. Gail, Anne, Mary, Wendy, Julie, Doreen, Pam. Hi, Rita's here too. Hello, Wendy Burns. Diane, I can see you're here as well, and thank you for joining us this evening. Or this morning. I don't know where everyone is. Do you know, we had a lovely time today. We actually filled an order. I don't know if the lady that ordered had been watching us live or not. To Austria. I can probably still count on both hands the amount of times we've sent things to Austria, but every now and then it's like, woo! So yes, we do post everywhere, and just every now and then we will get some gorgeous, to us, wild and wonderful country that we haven't got on the website yet, and people contact us and we go through it and we add them in, and it's just lovely to think we go everywhere. And now what is going? I think it's under the Australian sun in Melbourne. It's going to Austria, so that's exciting. Good evening, Floria. Good evening, Rosemary. Wendy's multitasking. Isn't that just the story of our lives? Oh my God, look at my hair. Hairdresser Monday. Oh, it's not good. Just not. Okay, next. Now I mentioned cheekily from my office that I wanted to talk to you about way too many things. I can't cram them all in tonight. It's just not going to happen. But I have popped under Lemonade some new products that I was showing you from my office. And I just want to touch on one of them now, which is a new tiger tape. And so I'm still waiting for the regular, hello Judy, I'm still waiting for the regular 1/4 inch tiger tape to come back in. But I got just a few packets of a special one. And the whole idea, I'm told, with this one, I know all the packs look the same, but they're different colours if you line them all up together. This one is flexible. So, to me, Ginny, shh, Gin, psst, quiet. To me, this one could be potentially an all-important can't live without any more tool. So, what I thought, we'd just have a little bit of a play. Now, I was going to get carried away with applique gum leaves and things tonight, and we will do that. We're well overdue for another cup and saucer party with creating gum leaves. Hi Yvonne, so I just want to show this to you with this. This is one of our caravan products, fabrics, and I was very excited. We were able to get straight out of the States another bolt of this and one of the small triangular prints we're going to have a look at. And I thought this might be a good thing for us to just test these out now. Let's go. All right, so this one has 9 marks per inch and this one has 12 marks per inch. So what this is going to do for those that find it really hard to regulate your stitch length, whether it be for applique, for quilting, piecing, anything like that, tiger tape is fantastic, and I use the 1/4 inch one a lot. Also because it's a 1/4 inch wide, so I can use it for a 1/4 inch seam, so it sort of serves two purposes. But when you get down to, can you see that? See that mark on the edge there? When you get down to ones this small, and thin. The theory is, oh no, it's going to be one of the, here it is. It's going to say I'm going to go round and round looking for the end. This, oh, oh my word, it does. It curves. So because it's so fine, it'll go round an edge. Heavens. So if you love having, well, it's a bit wobbly with the on the fabric, sorry, because it's on the bolt. If you love having a curved edge that has super fine, even stitches, that's appealing to my OCD big time. And then it pulls off and you can use it again. Let's draw a line. Let's just see. So we were going to do gum leaves tonight. That is nothing like a gum leaf. I don't know what that is, but it will do. So if you want to regulate your stitches, I can see this. I'm channeling my Therese Parry at the moment, but in a world where I have time to create an exhibition quilt or something with a lot of hand stitching on it, can you see that? So it is a 1/16 of an inch wide, I think. Oh mate, this does appeal. Oh yeah, okay. And then you've got all these lines. So if you've actually got an applique leaf on here and you wanted to hand stitch and echo round, you could actually use the marks on it to have beautiful even stitches a 1/16 of an inch out from the edge of your curve. Or it could be from the edge of your orange peel block or your Dresden block or around the top of your Dresden wedges or anything like that. Also, if you need to regulate your applique stitches, you could also just sit it just a little bit further out or on the inside, maybe on top of your leaf. I'm going to set it on the outside, and then that's going to give you a guide as to where your stitches should fall as you stitch. So you'd be coming through and stitching. Lovely. I really, you know, I don't do that much, I don't do as much handwork as I should at the moment, but I can see this would be just fantastic. Can you imagine if you use it for a gum leaf vein or a leaf vein down through the middle? So it's going to sit there and you're going to be able to do this. So you'll have beautiful, small, even, can't even do it with the texture at the moment, stitches down one side like that. Diane Johnson. Twin lines 1/4 inch apart. Oh, I skipped one. Of rose pink and mint green thread on a rose quilt, hand quilted. I'll never, ever, ever forget that quilt. Okay, so I'm going to pull that off, and that's what you're going to get. Without even having to mark it up or think about it, just stick the tape down the middle. Anyway, I had to have it. So there's two different ones. There's 9, I've got sticky stuff on my feet, 9 marks per inch and then 12. I don't think there's really going to be that much difference between them. It's one of those specialist things. You'll look at it and go, it's not that super cheap, Leesa. No, it's not. You've got 27 meters in there, 30 yards. But the thing is, as you just saw, you can use it again and again. So it's under $30, well under, but don't look at it as 27 meters. You're probably looking at it more like 100 meters because you're going to be able to use each piece multiple times. And then with the rest of the caravan fabric, I've popped this one and the one we're going to play with tonight under tonight's lemonade word, but there's very little left of the other ones, so it's been super popular and I wish I could get more and I just can't get any more. So just so you know, what's there is there and I can't get more, but this beautiful one and this one we're going to have a play with are there. Okay. I'm going to pop this one down here for a minute so that we can just have a look at the others that I've got. What have I got on my foot? Sticky note. We can have a look. As I mentioned Tim was having a little bit of a look around his warehouse, which was really nice of him. And after running a distributor business for 30 years and being a big distributor, you can imagine every now and then he finds something. And I'm really glad he has me on speed dial, because he pulled out a couple that I thought were just beautiful of Jason's. And so he gave them to me at a nice price, which I can pass on to you. So instead of being 26, 27, I think these are in for around 18. I think that's what I've put them up at on the website. So there's this beautiful thing from the Illusions collection. Isn't that cool? I'll pop it down back here on the small one here so you can have a look. Isn't that fantastic? What a fun print, and so many different colors in there. So for linings, or to blend a whole heap of others together that you have of Jason's, perhaps you've got one of those beautiful interwoven fabric rolls, or you've bought one of our fat quarter bundles of gelato ombres. It's really, really gorgeous. Let me just pull that back a bit for you. There you go, you can see it a bit better. Hey, isn't that fantastic? So you'll find that under the word lemonade tonight, and I did pull a little bit off to use myself. Now I'll put this down. Now the other one that he found that I asked him for way back when, he said, no, I haven't got any more. I thought I did. He did. So this one is back from Oriental Gardens, and again it's now at a lovely discounted price, and you'll find that under the word lemonade. What I did too, look how busy this counter is. What I did too is, I always love to do, I went and had a look for some ombre, and I found it. Good day, good evening, Anne Beecroft. Kathy Lynch is in the building. Hello, Bernadette. Julie Morrison, hello. Who'd I miss? Carla, hello. Oh, you're all here, lovely. And I'm very sorry for switching nights. So a few things in the bright green zipper was the final straw. Look at these together. So I just thought I would go look for one. If you wanted one to grab for lining, or perhaps binding for some lovely placemats for the kitchen or something like that, you can go for a solid colour, but a lovely ombre like this is going to give you a lovely effect as well. So I've pulled that one out, and I have marked it tonight. I can't remember. It starts with BQW is that one. It was just a lovely range, wasn't it? Lovely, lovely range. Very delicate. I think that was just about that time when we got really obsessed with Jason's designs, and then it all happened that we're now looking after him. So that's all good. There is a big show this week called H&H. So you might even want to follow it on Facebook. It's called H&H Americas. So it's one of the large textile and craft, I'm going to say textile and craft trade shows in America, and it is sort of like the sister show to H&H Cologne in Europe. So that's on this week, and that's where Jason is. So if you do want to follow Jason or the H&H show, you'll get to see lots of a variety of many different things. There was a huge fashion parade on today. Brilliant. So that's where he is. Okay, now the next thing is this little Stash the Cash purse that I was telling you about. And it was so lovely on Sunday to see my girls that were here for class actually were using theirs and had theirs with them from the advent calendar. So this is a little pattern. Now, when I mentioned it the other day, I said I had given all of mine away. And you know, I was laying in bed, you know how you lay there and you go, I would not have given them all away. Sure enough, I walked into my office, and hanging up high in one corner on my design wall was my sample. Ta-da! So I do have one that I can show you. So we've popped these up. They're under the word lemonade, and there are a few different ones to choose from. So there's this oriental one that I've got up there with the cherry blossoms on, and then there's just a few of the black with silver. And we've also got, oh, that's the one that I've got here. And then we've got the pink with silver on it. And I have actually cut out the other one to show you tonight, which is a lovely big peach cherry blossom that we've had before. So that's what's in there, okay? So that's the one we're going to have a look at. Now, with these, we're using dress zips in them. And so because the dress zip is nice and soft and flexible with its fine plastic or polyester teeth, we can get away with making a very simple turn. So there is no tab or anything on the edge of these. You're literally going to sew right up to the edge of the zip, and it will turn through, and you'll get just a little bit of bulk at each end, but essentially you've got a nice turn there on your bag, so on your purse, so you don't need to worry about any complicated tabs or anything with it. You're going to cut out, and I'm mentioning that for later, I should say, as well. So from your fabrics, we're going to cut out 2 from the feature fabric. So the kits have got your 2 bits of fabric and your zip in there, okay, and your instructions, and they're $10. That's all they are. So, and then you can use your pattern again and again. So I've cut out 2 panels from my outer fabric, and I've cut out 2 from the lining fabric that's in the kit. And then I've gone to my stash of scraps, and I've actually added adhesive, so iron-on Pellon onto the back. So I've tagged H640 tonight because that's actually what I've used. So you'll find 2 on the website. There's H630 and 640, and I've actually used 640. Of course, if you've got lots of scraps of something else that you want to use, please do. But just 2 things to remember: that the rubber foam batting is going to be way too thick. It's going to be too much because you won't be able to turn it through effectively. It's too small. The project's too small. And the other thing, if you do use some scraps, say some beautiful wool batting or something like that, you might just want to do a few quilting stitches over the top, or in the case if you've got one like this, you might, if you've got some little gold beads or some embroidery thread, and just do some little French knots, maybe in the middle of the flowers and things in this case, just to secure down that batting onto your fabric so that your purse will always sit nice and flat, all right? Except when you're full of cash, of course. So what we're going to do, let's have a look at our little instructions here. Cass pulled out all the stops again with instructions. It was on a roll with diagrams when we did the advent last year. Look, we've got pretty pink ones this time. Super. So what we're going to do is take one of our panels and take our zip, and we're going to open our zip right up like this, and we're going to sit our panel over the top, not on this one, but right up onto this one here. And I suppose between the 2 years of the advent, we did have a purse the previous year, but what we did was we ramped things up a bit and we've curved off the top. And a curve is fine, not too much with a little zip, but you can add a little curve to the top of a purse like this. So we're just going to put in some wonder clips to hold this in place. There's some really cool new neon lime ones too on the website under Lemonade, just in case you've got a thing for wonder clips and you need to add the new colour to your collection. So that's all round the top like that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to add in one of our lining pieces to the back. Every now and then I try and do it in one go, and you know worky, it doesn't come out as good. Hey, while I'm doing this, I need to tell you something. One of our lovely ladies coming to our sold out Creative Escape event is not able to come. And so I do have a Facebook post ready to pop up onto the website in the morning that we have a ticket. But if there's anyone out there that really wanted to come to the Creative Escape and they missed out, then please email me. It'll just be first in best dressed to info@chandlerscottage.com. Just do that as soon as you can tonight. And if I get anyone that comes through tonight that really wants it, then I don't need to put the post up tomorrow. Just so you know, okay? Shh. Just go back. All right, so that's on there like that. So we're going to go across to the machine. I'm not going to go through all of this one tonight because I've got another one that I want to do with you, but I just want to get you through the principal steps of this. All right, so we'll pop over to the sewing machine. Oh, that's up close and personal, isn't it? Look at that. I'm not sure it's supposed to be that close because I haven't done my nails today, so let's just back that off a bit And see that I need to move my ruler so you haven't got that bright ring light in your eyes. That's a bit better. Okay. Oh, I am so sorry too. I haven't told my machine which foot I've got on, and somebody was running around like, I don't know what, a fly that had a blue something earlier. So she stood, or she kind of jumped over the machine, and I heard my machine go beep beep. Heavens knows, I think she was sort of laying over the top of it. Let me just find my foot. I'm so sorry. Okay, there we go. So I've got my zipper foot on, and I've just got that classic pale green in terms of colour. So we'll just do a down and an up to bring my thread up. Pull that through. And then we can go. Now I've got it over in the furthest position, the far position, is that the term? To the left. You know I struggle with our shows because it's either early on a Sunday morning, or it's late after a really busy day, and sometimes it's really hard to string a sentence together if it's a time outside between 9 AM and 4 PM. Or find a word. Here we go. Speaking of I was speaking of pin cushions just before. I do have 4 lovely new pin cushions for you, and they're sort of a prelude to a big stitchery project. So I should have those to show you. If not next time I see you, but the time after. I'm starting to think about things that sort of are good to do in the chair at night time now the nights are getting longer, but also if you're planning a holiday and you need something for travel that you can just pop in your suitcase or in your handbag. So there you go. So I've got that one round there like that. And this definitely I would top stitch around here. So I would do that with my zipper foot again, as I have done before, so that I get just a really nice little, doesn't have to be really close, but just a nice little stitch around there. If you are going to do it as well, before you do, I would suggest that you give it a really nice little press. You can see my switcher tonight. That's the magic little box that we switch between cameras. So if I see this button here, that's my front camera. If I push that and then I cut to this one, I can see you, and then if I go back, we're back to this. So that's how we do it. It's a little magic box. I had one of the girls, someone email me after I did the live schedule, the Facebook show yesterday, and she went off and scheduled an event for her family to go to for dinner on Sunday. I thought that was hilarious. Okay, so that's nice and flat there now, and you'll want to give that a nice top stitch so that when you open up your purse, you can see this one's got one on here, that this lining won't ride up inside. Okay, so you're going to repeat that on the other side with these two, like that, and so that one will be all done under there. And then what happens after that, and you've got really good instructions in here, you're going to do this, and then you'll do the other side. This is what you're going to do, okay? So you're actually going to pick up these two, and you'll flatten out these two, and you're actually going to sew all the way around, leaving an opening at the bottom. So when you've done that, you'll actually be able to pull your whole purse through the hole in the lining. So I'm going to turn mine inside out again to show you. I always say to people when they look inside my bags and then they say, you haven't sewn up the lining. It's usually because I've forgotten or I've just discarded it, that I can't be bothered. But every now and then it's really nice because I can do this and show you. Okay. So here's this one. So I've left a gap at the bottom here and gone right round over the edges of the zip, around this side and over the edges of the zip, and then you'll trim any excess zip off here. So the most important thing, and it is in the instructions for you, when you get to this part of sewing right round, you need to remember to make sure your zip is at least half, if not all the way open, because you're actually turning through the hole in the lining, but you're also bringing it all through the zip opening. So you've got to have that zip open as well, okay? I'll give that a little bit of a press out. Then I know, I need to sew up the lining. So there you go. So there's 4 different ones to choose from. Some we've only got a couple of. We've got a few of this one and the peach one. So they're just, you know, it's what I like to call my chewy checkout. It's just a nice little project to have, or perhaps you've got a budding seamstress or seamsman in your midst on the school holidays, and maybe it'd be a really nice little project to make for them. And as I said, a lot of us have got a whole heap of dress zips just sitting in the cupboard. They're not that expensive to buy as well, so you can use up a lot of your scraps and make lots of them for presents or for yourself to have. So I'm going to set this one aside. I'm going to finish off my other one. So I've got 2, which will be great. And I'm going to put these. There's just too much stuff on this counter, so we'll move this out of the way. Now with that in mind, there you go. Now we're going to go down the rabbit hole and try something different tonight. Before I do that though, this is why I called it Lemonade tonight. This is a beautiful print. I'm going to pop it down on the counter for you, and look, it's not on the roll. I actually cut a piece off. Oh gee, I wonder who this is for. This is mine. It's just lovely and it's super fresh, and if you've got a lemon tree or something, then you need this in your life to make a little table runner or a placemat or something for, and sit a big bowl, a white china bowl of lemons on top of it. But also really nice again for shopping bags, cushions to brighten up a part of the house, and with winter coming on, I just think it's really lovely. If you are in a quilter's life, you've got my lemon cordial recipe. Can you imagine making a lovely big bottle bag in this and popping inside a big bottle of lemon cordial to give to someone that's not feeling that great, or just might need to put it with their G&T? That would be what it would be for. I'm just going to pop this back up here and hope it doesn't fall off. There we go. Put that down. Now, do you remember when we had, this is another one Tim found for us, do you remember we had Hedgehog Hollow? That's a bit hard to say. And if you can't remember that, I'm sure you remember this. So this is one of the coordinates that went with Hedgehog Hollow when we had the border stripe. So you might have this in your stash, and this is the coordinate that will go with it. Hello Gidget, that's absolutely fine. Jeanette, yes I know, I love lemons. I mean, I spent a lot of my teenage years at Lavender Farm, which was my parents' lavender. We had lavender all down the driveway and a 60-tree lemon orchard. So lemons and lavender to me are just so special. Cute, cute hedgehogs. I mean, I know we're supposed to be thinking about kids' quilts, but I'm thinking kids' pajamas. I just think. It's so cute. I'm going to let you just ponder that, and it is a really, really nice price tonight with help from Tim as well. Judy Vermeulen's in the building. I got my foot, thanks Jude. Kathy Turnbull, good evening to you. Hello Kay, you're here. Hello Lorraine. That's lovely. There you go. I mean, I love the toadstools. I grew up with Noddy and Biggies. Did you? I did. So did. So I love it. Now underneath, don't die of shock, but I may have bought a little bit of Moda. I know, it's so not me, is it? I did. I bought some Moda. These are lovely and fresh, and I think Susie's to blame, because I just thought Suze would love these for some of her beautiful stitcheries, and she's got some new ones coming up as well. It's a beautiful, fresh apple green and white pinstripe. I'm not going to say stark white, more like an ivory white that we get with Jason's fabrics. And so cute. It's got little flowers. It's kind of a little bit Sally Kelly, a little bit Liberty, and of course it's Moda. But I couldn't help but put them all together on the shelf. Do you mind if I just grab my cup of tea? Thanks. Very nice. Lovely and fresh. And sometimes we just need that little bit of, oomph heading into winter, because it might be really rainy and icky outside, or cold or dark, but we can have a nice bright basket full of fabric in the studio. Pop that there. Now the other one, I'm going to do this one, then we're going to talk this other purse. I did have kids in mind. So this is Benedict's. I had kids in mind, but then when I read the side of it, it's actually measuring tape, and it says from the sewing room. Oh, wrong camera. Sorry, there you go. Isn't that fabulous? So it's just all, it's like a stripe. It's all very, very directional. But look at that. Which way do I want the camera to go? Like that. There. Imperial, of course, but we all stitch in Imperial, don't we? And then I grabbed, just to show you, I had a look at, I auditioned the zips and the grey with the silver's just fantastic with it. And it will go with any of our zip pulls, of course, but that one's really good. Remember, we have got silver sewing machine zip pulls on the website. So anyway, I just thought that was a fantastic match. So for anything, maybe a mat to sit your sewing machine on, a set of little purses. If you put the word trio into the search window on the website instead of lemonade, it will bring up our trio of purses we did with Melba. But they're a nice little set of 3 that will nest inside each other. So that would be kind of where I would start. I mean, sure, curtains. Who am I to judge? If you want curtains for the entire sewing room with it, don't let me stand in your way. I'm laughing because I've cut some of our strawberry fabric to make curtains for the garden shed. So that's just me taking the mickey out of myself, not out of you. And I've got to get them organised. And then do the, you know, you see those things on Instagram where you see how girls get hubbies to do things. It's a little bit chauvinistic, but you just walk past your husband with a chainsaw in your hand or a circular saw. I might try it on Rob. Oh no, he might still be listening. I'll just walk past him with the cordless drill and just see if he comes out and helps me hang them. Okay, sorry, seriously now. Okay, so the zip purse that we did, we've just talked about, this one is flat, as in a flat construction. But what if we wanted it to have like a flat base this way? And this fabric has been tormenting me since it arrived. So this is the triangular one, and you can call it triangular or equilateral triangles, thank you very much, or you can call it a hexagon print, depending on which way you look at it. Rob's still watching. Oops. Oops. Here we go. So this is this lovely one. What did they call it? Did they give it a name? No, it's just one of the caravan ones. So it's super bright, it's super kaleidoscope, like that. And sometimes I like to design a bag or a purse or something, not from a pattern, well, you know I do that, not from a pattern, and not necessarily to a particular measurement, but I will work with the dimensions on the fabric. And that was in reverse for me, designing fabric with panels as well, because repeatedly some of my friends at Robert Kaufman would take my panels, and they would turn them into things that were like 11 3/8 or whatever, because they were trying to use up the maximum space across the bolt. And then I'd go back and say, you can't do that because we can't work with it. So it's really nice to be able to go in both directions, but I thought we'd have a look at this fabric and work backwards from it to create a purse based on the dimensions of all of the triangles that are on it. So grab a cuppa, because we're going to do a little bit of maths. We are. And this is where this bright green zip is going to come in. Okay, so I've got some cut out here already, but I've got some other pieces to show you, to give you a little bit of a close-up. You can see I've done a fair bit of prep here. So I'm going to take you back though to the fabric to start with, like this. So equilateral triangles, and therefore we've got the triangles here, but as you can see, 6 of them come up to a hexagon. And then if we go out one further, we can actually see a larger hexagon if we go out to the next ring. So I'm going to put my finger here and come across here and show you, down here, across here, down to here, back up, is one big hexagon. And I actually cut that hexagon out without any respect or thought about the dimensions of it. So I actually cut it out, and there it is there. And I've already got it backed with some rubber foam batting ready to go with some I got from some scraps. Okay, so I want this to be the base of my purse. So it's not going to be flat anymore. It's going to be this. I know, I'm pushing it, but we're going to have a go. So that's my base. Now for the sides, I measured. But I didn't measure from corner to corner on the outer here, because of course this is going to include my seam allowance. So what you would do is actually measure. I sort of need to do it in reverse, don't I? I need, because I'm a lefty, I'm going to mark my 1/4 inch all the way around, because it's really important all the way through that I can see where the intersection is of these lines to find the corner of my hexagon base without the seam allowance on it. And this will be really important for pinning. That ruler is getting really dirty. I can see I need to give it a clean. Okay, so I've just drawn those on so I can easily see my corners and where I'm going to be pinning. There'll be pinning happening at these corners. But the other reason that we need this, I want to know what the seam, I want to know what the length of each side is without the seam allowance. And holy dooly, it was, you ready? It was 4 3/8. I know, I can do it. We can do it. It's all good. Mrs. Devine, Year 9 Maths. She was amazing. Still think about her a lot because I do patchwork. So, now I'm going to be upside down, but I'll turn it round for you. What I want to do is create this, but now my sides are sort of going to meet out here. So I'm going to have sides that go around and they're going to meet at the points. So my panels, or my bag panels, need to be 3 times 1. So I'm going to take in 3 sides with one panel and 3 sides with the other one of the base. So if from here to here is 4 3/8. I know I've got to turn it upside down for you, like that. We need this 3 times. So 3 times 4, 12, easy peasy. But we need to add up 3 times 3/8. So if I put 3 times 3, that's 9 eighths now. Do you remember doing all of this? Come on. It's like riding a bike. You can do it. So 9/8 means we've got 1 whole inch and 1 leftover eighth. So I just need to put these two together. And that is how long, without seam allowances, my sides are going to be. So I've gone 3 times 3/8. Now, of course, you can get your ruler, run it down the strip you're going to use for the panels, and just measure 4 3/8, put a mark there, start again, 4 3/8, put a mark there. You can do it that way, of course you can, but I just thought I'd show you I can still do basic fractions, that's all. So this is what it is, but we need a seam allowance, and our seam allowance, can I draw upside down? Just about, is another 1/2 inch. We've got to add it to this, and I can tell you now, this here is the same as, oh, I'm upside down, I can't do it, 4/8, because you just 4/8 with that. So it's actually going to be 13 5/8. You can do it, come on, take a snapshot, you can do it, I know you can. Now, I chose to do the maths. You could also just trim a little bit off around the edges, so it's just 4 1/4, and it's going to be so much easier. But if you can still do the maths, it's really, really good for your brain to be able to do it. So my panels needed to be 13 5/8. So I've actually got these cut out to 13 5/8, and I put backing on them. I didn't really overthink how big or high I wanted it to be, except I knew that it needed to be higher than the panels on these, because we've got this width here and it's going to be wider. So I've taken just a giant leap and decided that they're going to be 7 inches, and that includes the seam allowance. So they're 13 5/8 by 7, and the whole idea is that this will fit round there, and the other one round the other side, and then we'll have a seam on both sides. So they are ready to go. I've done the same with the lining, and I've used that Fab New fabric. So I've got these for my lining already cut out. So what we're going to do is start with the same steps as we did with this. So I've got my zip here ready to go, my lovely bright green. So remember before I mentioned to you how lovely and soft and flexible and fine the dress zips are, and you can sew straight through them on the edge of a purse. The same doesn't necessarily apply to our beautiful big size 5 zips. So what we need to do is put in a little tab on each end, and again, if you've got your trio of Melba purse pattern, that's got it in it as well. So I'll show you what we do in that one. So I've got my, just move that out of the way. Here's my zip here, and you can see what I've done. I've come through and prepared some little tabs on each end. These are 2-inch squares. 2 inches are great measurements just to use, and I have folded in the edges into the center and then over again, and then you just slip that like a little cap over the end of your zip. What I have done in terms of measuring the width of zip that I need is I've made sure that with the tab on, they're about just over 1/4 inch shorter at each end than my panels. So this is one of my panels here, because the zip needs to go across the width. So you can see here, it's just going to sit in 1/4 inch, a 1/4 inch on each end. Okay, so just there. And that means I'm going to be able to come through with my sewing machine and come past the zip. And this little bit here is kind of almost like a little floating tab. So the zip will be attached to the front and back panels, but it won't be incorporated into the side seams. And that way you really do avoid sewing through the hard teeth if you don't want to. It's not such a big problem going through these teeth. It's really easy to get through all of them, but you don't want all of that thickness in that turn through edge like we've got on this one here. So like we did before, hello Ginny, you may come up, but don't jump up on the keyboard, don't jump up on my T, okay? All right, so just like we did before, and this time we've got both ends enclosed. This is going to come up and sit over here like that, and then we're going to put a lining piece on the back like that, and we're going to do that with both sides. So I'm going to head to the sewing machine. Before we do this, I need to just sew through these little tab bits here on each side so they're secured down. And I'm hoping, you know how you get to that point, you go, it'll be fine, it'll be all right on the night, I'm going to wing it. What I was really hoping was that I could sew these without having to change my feet. Please, please, please. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know why I'm being silly about it. Maybe just because it's 9 o'clock on a Thursday night. Okay. Didn't really need a finishing stitch, but we got one. So there we go. We've been across one, and we'll whiz down the other end and do the other one. I've also tagged under tonight's, oh Ginny, a great, really bright pink zip with silver teeth. And we were out of stock of them. I only got in a few to start with to see if people liked them, and they went really fast. I've popped it back up tonight, and it goes beautifully with the other sort of kaleidoscoping, I call it an orange peel mosaic shape that I showed you earlier in the caravan collection. Goes really nicely with that as well. Okay, so there's our other end. Obviously, you've got to put your zip pull on first, folks. Don't forget to put the zip pull on. I've done that before. So, where we want to get to with this tonight is I need to prove to myself it's going to work. And if it's got merit, it might actually be a pattern. Wow. Okay. So we'll come back across and I will... What a mess. I'll pin this here. I was going to do it at the machine, but this will be much better here. A little bit of a kink happening here, and that's just because we've got our zip pull in there this time. And so 1/4 inch, I'm leaving a 1/4 inch exposed there of the bag panel. If you get to this point, I want you to think, oh, have I got a directional print? You might need to go and check it's up the right way, like you need to do with our Melba Floral and other ones like that. I think, sorry, just while I do this, I think we are going to be able to have 12 tables of 4 in the tea room at the Melba Farewell exhibition. I've been working on it and I think we can do 12. So there'll be 12 tables for a morning sitting and 12 for an afternoon. Okay, so that's pinned on that side, and then we'll flip it over and put this one on this side. So I need to add, of course, the lining at the same time at the moment, but we're going to get this to the point where we've got at least the outside base in. Oh, Jen. So you could start with any size hexagon that you've got. I mean, I'm using this, of course, to give me my shape of my hexagon, but you could use anything. You might have one. If you, again, if you are in, if you're in a quilter's life, please go back, way back. You've got a pocket sewing caddy that's got a hexagon base in it in there as well, that you could use. How great's that zip going to look? I want to show you what it's going to look like. Yeah, good. Okay, across to the machine. Now what I need to remember this time, of course, is that I'm going to have to move that zip as we go. So we're going to this side, and if you go, yeah, I know what Leesa's doing, then please feel free to go off and get a coffee and come back, because I need to do both sides. Maybe you need to run, get some more thread from the sewing room. Have you got the meat out from the freezer into the fridge ready to defrost for tomorrow night's dinner? That would be a big one. Actually, that's what I need to do. Okay, a little bit of a persuasion to get the fabric moving well under my feed dogs. Now, I've got dual feed, we talk about this all the time, so my machine is pretty happy moving along with all of this thickness in here. But you may not have the same situation, so you can look at using your walking foot and moving your needle position across so that you get more grip to pull the fabric and the batting evenly through. Ginny's decided that the little piece of tiger tape is the most fabulous toy, the bit that I kind of discreetly scrunched up and put on the floor. She's running around like a nuff with it because it's sticking to her paws, so she thinks it's great fun. We're nearly there. So I'm going to press this right now so that it is done. So we're going to press that out of the way. Look, just have a look at that fabric. Isn't that fantastic? It goes with this, but I think it will just go with so many different beautiful bright fabrics. Speaking of bright, have a look at that zip. Don't be afraid to attack this with some steam. Okay, now this is where you are going to top stitch that for me, maybe with your walking foot on, with the needle position moved across. Really important to do. I'm not going to do mine now, and in fact I'll probably be taking one for the team, doing a little bit of reverse sewing, unpicking and coming back to do that, but I want to choose the right colour thread. It could just be a grey, it could be metallic silver to go with these, it could be off-white, could be purple, not sure yet, but I want to take the time to get that right because I'm already in love with this. It's not just going to be a demo, is it? It's definitely not. So we'll go back here and put the other one on the top. Again, I need to make sure now that not only is this a 1/4 inch in from this edge here, but that just that they line up. I line up this top one with the panel underneath, and we'll pin this through again. Donna Spong, how are you this evening? Are you good? Thanks, Megan. Yeah, I know, it's a winner, isn't it? I'm so happy with it. I really am. It's lovely to see you're here, Donna. Hello, Janine. How are you this evening? Are you good? Do you notice how I yell at my phone? It's totally unnecessary, but I yell. It's like I'm thinking you're calling long distance from Tasmania, Donna. So silly. Okay. I've moved a bit. What have I done? I've moved a bit. That in there. Oh, look, see, it's just where that, maybe if I move the zip, I need to pull the pull all the way down to one end while that's better. Okay, so that side's on, we flip over, get this bit out of the way. See, that's why I've got to top stitch that, folks, don't I? And then this one goes over the top here. Cass is... Oh, I'll be able to show you my... I just should have brought it out tonight. Oh, I'll post it up on the weekend, my project for the Autumn Creative Escape. And Cass has got the instructions. She's just putting some fine-tuning that. Margaret's got her beautiful ones done as well. So we'll have a little, just a little show and tell on the Facebook page, or maybe in person with the samples next week. The kits, oh, my kits have got so many elements to them that they were a big job. But you know, I do have little angels, or one very tall gorgeous angel called Jade that did some of them with me, so that was great. Okay, that's ready to go, so we can go back to the machine and just get this other side done, and then things will get very interesting. Put this under. What else did we do this week? Oh yes, haha, we designed the envelope design. Oh, can you believe it? For the 2025 Advent calendar. So that was a big deal. Can you hear me? Can you hear me thinking? Can you hear me? My Lisa's brain's going tick, 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 tick. I'm trying to talk more about the Advent without talking about the Advent because I don't want to give anything away just yet. You're going to get a little bit more information this year, but I don't want to talk about it yet. I just want to. No. My brain's just. I can't find a way to articulate anything that I want to say about it without giving it all away. We are nearly there. Okay. Oh, what I will say, if you are in A Quilter's Life, I have popped up a post for you with just a bit of a chat about the the Japanese Baltimore that we're starting on the 1st of June. Just about, just starting to talk about requirements and things for the quilt so you can have a look through your stash. So if you are planning on making some of the blocks with me, some, none, all, whichever, then please have a look. It is under the Japanese Baltimore. So it's got its own section. And so if you go into topics and follow that, you'll get a notification every time that I post something up about it. It'll go up on the 1st of each month, but at the moment there's a little bit more information in there for you as we get ready to start. Let's give this all a press. And as I said, I need to come back and top stitch, but doesn't that look cool? And you can see our pulls all encased now, and this is what I mean about these little floater tabs down the end. So the zip, hey Jen, the zip is attached to the panels, but it's not going to be incorporated into the side seam. So now what happens is we're going to, are you going to say hello to everybody? Or you, excuse me? Or are you just going to be rude? You don't know. Okay. Sure. It's in one of those moods tonight. So now, if you remember the instructions that we had with this one, is that we open it out like this and we sew the outer panels together and we sew the lining together. But we're not going to sew all the way around. I mean, you could stop now and go, this is just too silly, Leesa, I'm going to have a flat purse. And you'd get one. But what we're going to do is actually sew these seams, but leave this open to pop our hexagon in. So I'm going to pin, and remember what I said too before with the other one. I'm going to do it now or I'll forget later. I need to have this zip open. Okay. Down the track somewhere, we're going to need that zip open, I think. What do you reckon, Megan? We had a bag chat. We had a purse chat before. Okay. So you can see here, I'm actually going to push both of the seam allowances this way. Actually, you know, that's really interesting, isn't it? Because I actually want a top stitch, and that gets pulled back that way. And so when I fold it over, oh yeah, I think that will still work. Anyway, whatever you do, you need to push them both in the same direction, whichever you decide. I actually think they have to go that way. I'm going to go this way for now. I'll let you know when I'll let you know. They're easier going this way. I probably don't know the answer to that, or you won't either, until we do that top stitch step first, which I'm avoiding at the moment to save some time, and I want to do it with a nice thread. So in there, and we're going to flip it round. And do the same here. Who said what? Someone said something. Yes, Advent, Jen. Advent coming. Is that where my... Nope. So, clip in here, and the same. A ring in. I don't know where that's come from. And another one there. Just get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so we're now ready to sew. I'm going to put my walking foot on. Because we're now going through 2 thicknesses of batting. I may be already regretting putting the thicker batting in my panels. I really wanted it to be nice and perky, but time will tell. But I do think it may have been a better idea. What do you think, Ginny? To just use it in the base and use a thinner one on the sides. I wanted really perky sides. That was my thing. Right. This time I'm going to put this on before I sit down. Because remember how I usually try and put it on when I sit down? I can't see through the lights. There we go. That was quick tonight. Okay. Oh, if just in case there's someone watching that's going to come and visit tomorrow, I do have eggs. We sold out last week, but I do have eggs this week. So you'll probably just want to go a little slow here because there's a little bit of bulk when you go over the tab next to the zip, but of course we're not going through the actual zip, which is great. It's just a great little trick about that tab that you might be able to use, and I know a lot of you like to upcycle, and sometimes we're working with zips of, you know, with metal teeth off jeans and things. So it's just a nice little trick to have up your sleeve. I'll turn this straight around and do the other side so we can get to the tricky bit. Or the evolutionary bit. Who knows? This is where I really hope, you know. I mean, I know all of you, but I'm really hoping, you know, mates, colleagues like John and Natasha and stuff aren't watching me in case it all goes wrong. All right. I don't know. Let's just see. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. So now that that's done, the whole idea is that we are going to ease this in as our base. And if it doesn't work tonight, I'm so determined to make it work that I will go away and come back with it done on Sunday. No, really, we have to. So that's going to go there, and then that's going to go over there. Okay, so let's pin this one first. So now it's a case of, do we pin or do we clip? Because we really need it to stay in place. Ah, Liz, you're so funny. Just like nodded off. Oh, I do that all the time. And Rob will come home and go, oh, you've watched so-and-so without me. I go, well, as a matter of fact, I put it on and then I went off. And then I remembered I wanted to put the dishwasher on, and then I'll put the washing on the line or something else, or I've nodded off in the chair. And I say, it may say that I've watched it, but I have not. Okay, I'm hoping that will hold for a minute. Look, I'm not going to risk it. Pin. So that's going to go there. Now what I was very conscious of right from the start is that we're going to have to clip these seams as we go around into the seam allowance on our panels, because we've got to get around this corner. So I'm going to hold this like this. I can see, I'll put one pin in, but I can see where it's going to go. And this is where that corner is that I marked before, that we have to be conscious of, that we've got to go get our seam allowance pin at the corner here in. And I'm going to have to clip, so I'll show you what I mean. Just here, that's where I need to pivot. So I'm going to go to the back one in the panel and just put a little clip into that seam allowance so that it can open and turn and pivot round there. So now I'll pop the pin in. I mean, imagine if we can make this work. Like that. There we go, around we go. And we'll do the same at this one. I have avoided with a vengeance any bag design that requires me to set in a base, and that goes way back to the wonderful, dear, beloved, now late Linda Curry and her embroidery sampler drawstring bag. And it was just, you know, the whole time that we were doing all the stitchery, she was teaching at my place, I was stressing over, and that all works, getting the base in. Circles are probably a bit harder than this. And of course, remember, if you wanted to, you know what these dimensions are on these panels. You could mark a 1/4 inch in from one end and mark them at 4 3/8, or whatever your measurement is round, so you knew exactly where they would sit. And if I wrote this up as a pattern, that is what I would do. I would get people making it to mark the base of the panels at the right intervals. My friends, we are on to the next side. I don't believe it. It's going to work. Okay, so pin in, clip, or snip in here. Okay, pin in, put one in here. So you've got 2 panels, each of them will go round 3 sides of your hexagon, and they will meet, their side seams will meet at point, which is different to when we're putting a top sleeve for a cord on a drawstring bag. For it to sit right, we've actually got to go halfway or in the middle of 2 opposite sides, but not with this. I think, I don't want to say it too confidently, but I think that's right. In. Bazinga. Okay. And I also hope that I don't have to put you through this torture again for the lining, that we can kind of see what it's going to look like. Oh yeah, we can. Oh, yeah, this is so exciting. Okay. Sewing machine. Now we've got to sew the thing. Okay. If you can control the foot pressure on your machine, like I did with Narelle's the other day, if you can control the foot pressure, and what I mean by the foot pressure, not thread tension, the pressure with which, or the firmness with which your foot comes down onto your fabric and the foot plate. If you've got a Janome, open this part on the side and there will be a little dial that you can change in there a lot of the time. On a, I do call them like a smartphone. I call these a smart machine now. If you can digitally change your foot tension, you might want to take it up a notch. And I'm very concerned that you're not going to be able to see what I am sewing because I've got all this bulk here. Let me see if I can just move you way back a little bit. Sorry, you're getting motion sickness. Sorry. Just back a bit so that hopefully you get an idea of what I'm doing. So this is the outside of the bag. This way might be better. So I'm going to whiz right round, okay, on the drawn seam line. Those of you that have the traveller bag pattern, if you have made it, or you've had a read through so far, or you're halfway through, I don't know. I have said along the way that it's great, it's a really good idea, it's great to, sorry, I'm just having a look at this. I think that's one of my side seams. I might stop there. Zigzag the seam first. It seems like a really weird thing to do, but if you zigzag it to hold it first, a little bit like overlocking, that's that one, and then that's over there. It's really easy then to come back and sew the straight seam line. It sounds like a weird thing, but it works every time. And you might, if I stick with the thick batting, that's what we'll be doing with this one as well, I think. So I'm coming right up to that point that I've marked. And go around. I'm going to try and pick all of this, you know, because I've got to got to go back and top stitch those zips. Never mind. All good things. I know, you can't see a thing. Sorry. Alright, that's kind of one side. I started halfway through before and realised I need to work either side of these side seams. We're not going to sew over them, we're going to work either side of them. We are literally making it up as we go, aren't we? Okay, in again. And I think I can pivot around like that. Oh, this reminds me of making an Aussie ottoman. All these pins can come out. I do love these pins because you can literally leave them in as you go. It is definitely a zigzag first job. I'm just going to come out there for a minute so I can rearrange myself a bit. Yeah. Oh, look, I've only got one to go. And it is wonky, so I will definitely do this with the zigzag. one of the pieced side seam corners. Okay, this is going to be really bad, but it's also going to give us an idea if this is going to work or not. So what you would do next is do the same and put the hexagon, you would set it into the lining section as well, yeah? But you would leave one side open. No, it may need to be, Ginny, quiet. It might need to be more complicated than that. You might actually have to have two pieces for the base, and they're sort of folded so they overlap each other. So you sort of have two folds like a pillow slip or a cushion overlap, because to leave just one of these side seams open is not going to be enough to turn the whole bag through. So it's either going to be two, which might be really tricky to come back and sew later, or we'll do two folded halves that overlap so we can just easily turn it through. But let's just pretend, shall we? Can we just pretend that we've put in that hexagon into the lining, and then we'll just turn it through and see what we've got. So the tricky bits, yep, I'm just looking at the corners of the zip. I think so. It's been a long time since I've done a hexagon base, and it would have been the pocket sewing caddy. Alright, so all of this top bit here is going to be top stitch, so it sits nice, and we're going to have a base in here. So I'll ponder on the base, because you can see what I mean. We need to be able to have something quite substantial to turn it through. Now these are these little floating, I'm going to call them a floating tab. Can you see that there? So the zip end is encased in the tab, and the tab's not even connected to the side seam. It just sits there and holds in the base of the zip, and the zip's attached to both the panels. And there you go, and there's the one on that end as well. Okay, so I have to be really careful with mine here, because I haven't top stitched yet, and I don't want to catch my lining in there. There you go, hexagon base. Well, that was fun. Now, am I right in thinking that you can kind of do that as well? It'll sort of flatten, but it is good perky, isn't it? So what else does it need? A pocket inside. Maybe we need to add a pocket into the lining. We could easily add a pocket to the outside of this as well if you wanted one. And you remember, when we've been working on our big pocket tote, we could easily have a set in extra zipper pocket. There's room here on the side to put one in if we wanted to. It might be really nice to add also a tab in this seam, like so we've got a wristband or something to hang it from, an extra loop to hang something on. So that's another option as well. And of course we can put a lot more inside. It's a lovely big tote. So I'm really hopeful that I can turn this into a published pattern, and I am most grateful for you being generous with your time watching me think that through this evening. Do you want to look at the base? The base is pretty cool in this fabric, I must say. There you go. So there's the base. Oh, like that. So all I did was work to the shape of the pattern, but we're going to be able to do that. I'll put a hexagon base in. I'll put one in so that we've got one in the pattern. You can use it with anything. Now, just going back to this fabric, if you decide you're going to have a go at this, if we just go back to this fabric here, let's come back and have a look. So we used the next ring, so we had 2 rings of the triangles that make up the hexagons. But if you wanted to add into this and make it your sewing basket or your sewing purse, just take one of these smaller ones or 2 of these, and you can make yourself a really lovely little pin cushion to match to go inside, so you can have your hexagon pin cushion inside your hexagon purse. yeah, good fun. And I hope you agree, it was worth the wait for the bright green zip. So, oh, I've popped a snowflake. I mean, there's lots of silver zips that go with these on the website, but I've popped a silver snowflake on because it's hexagon shaped. So I just thought that that went really well with the design of the fabric as well. So there you go. Oh, I need to finish it now, and I need to make another one. I have to make more. That was great. Thank you so much for spending your time with me this evening. I really appreciate it. I'm going to let you go now, because if you haven't had a cuppa yet or your hot chocolate, it is time. And I think Ginny has finally, now I'm finished, she's settled and gone out into the wilderness, so I'll go and find her, and then we'll settle down for the evening. And I think I've probably got half an hour hand sewing in me when I get inside. We'll see. We'll see. All right, everybody, thank you so much for this evening. As I said, everything's under the word lemonade on the website that we talked about tonight, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. I'm not sure what time my crew are all rocking up here on Mother's Day, so that's why I'm being a bit vague about committing to Sunday morning. So if we are going ahead, it might just be a nice little quiet sewing session for those that are around on Sunday morning, and I'll come back and do a little bit of work, finally get back to midnight Melbourne, weekend at Melbourne, so because I'm very conscious we need to get back onto that. You're probably way ahead of me by now, but I want to get mine done. So if it's not Sunday morning, it'll be Wednesday night next week, so we'll just see how we go, and just keep an eye on the Facebook page and I'll let you know. But you'll see that I have pinned up there as well on the page that we're not going to be open on Friday the 23rd of May, because we found it very hard to be in two places at once last year when we were setting up the Creative Escape. So we will be closed on that Friday while we move everything down and set up the hall for our event. All right, so just keep that in your mind at the moment. Or if you hear a mate saying, I'm going to pop down and see Leesa, no, not on the Friday. We won't be here, all right? So, yeah, just keep an eye on the page. And again, if you are interested in that one ticket left for the Escape, info@chandlerscottage.com, and I'll be in touch, all right? Thank you, everybody. I'll see you very soon. Bye.